Hi, I'm Sally from Primal, and today we're going to be looking at one of our functional movement patterns, which is the squat. The squat we use pretty much with everything we're doing all day, things like getting on and off the chair, in and out of our car, going to the toilet. So we want to be able to squat with really good form, with good stability in the trunk and good movement into the hips, so that we don't encourage too much flexion in the low back, which can lead to problems a little bit later. So what we're going to start off with our basic movement. We're going to be side on, making sure that the spine stays in neutral with good low back curve, and we're just going to start with a small waiter's bow. This is a pivot around the hip joints. So keeping the spine lengthened, just a small waiter's bow. Now you can repeat this movement as many times as you want. This is then going to lead into the squat, so we have a small waiter's bow, then triple flexion throughout the legs. So we've got a bend in the ankle, knee in the hip, and then coming up again. The weight's going to come backwards a little bit over the heels. So we've got small pivot, take the weight backwards a little bit, and again we only squat as low as we want to. It needs to be a pain-free movement, but we're imagining sitting backwards onto a chair. From the front, we need to make sure that we have good alignment in the legs, so that we have knees, shins coming forwards over the feet. So again, you have this kind of view. You want to avoid that kind of patterning. If you have really tight calves and you're finding it difficult to get down, you can put something under your heels, maybe like a small mat or a thin book, and that will raise your heels a little bit and you'll be able to get a bit lower. Alternatively, just work with your feet a little bit wider. Now, some modifications with the squat that we can do is altered foot pattern. So we can work with split stance. So we're going to work here with the right foot in front. Again, pivot and squat and come up. Now with this squat here, we've actually got a little bit more weight on the back hip. Again, we want to make sure that the legs are nicely in parallel. We can then work this with the other foot in front, which would then be your progression. So again, my weight now is on the left hip. With these parallel squats again, just make sure the legs don't duck in, or that we're not swaying over too much to the side. Another progression we can do, back in parallel, is with the knees and toes in. So we're going to do a squat that does look like the knees are coming in, but in actual fact, the thighs, knees and shins are still in alignment with the feet. This actually opens up the base of the sacrum really nicely as well. So allow the sitting bones to move away from each other as you squat. The opposite to this is heels in and toes out. And we're squatting with a nice wide open position. Okay, another modification you can do, a little bit more advanced, adding some movements in with the arms. We don't necessarily need the ball. We're going to be taking the arms high and low. So we're going to squat down with the arms high, or we could squat down with the arms low. Each one places a different emphasis on the legs. So as we squat with the balls low, a little bit more into the hips. As we squat with the balls high, it's a little bit more forward into the knees. For our more advanced students, we can squat and add a twist. And what we see here is again the weight changing from one hip to hip. So a little bit more on my left here, and then a little bit more on my right. The last one is with arms high, and we're squatting and bending over to the side. Again, allow the body to move, don't be too rigid. But we want the legs to flow evenly with the body. Okay, with any of these exercises, you want to build up probably to about 15-20 reps if you can. And you can actually change the tempo with some of these exercises too. So you might want to go down for a count of 3, 2, 1, hold, and come up 3, 2, 1. Or you might want to come down for 2 and up for 2. So have a play, enjoy yourselves, and remember, it's all about quality of movement, not quantity. See you soon. Bye.